This is 365 Sports.
The Smoaky.com podcast is presented by Peters Chevrolet in Longview, Texas. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. TFNB, your bank for life. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine. And Bubba's 33.
Well, it's week number 6 of the Texas high school football season. There are still some districts that have not begun and won't begin this week because of the number of teams they have in the district. So that's kind of unique, but that's something we've gotten used to. But some are now entering the 3rd week of district play, and we will highlight some of the better games coming up this week. Later in the show, look at our Pick'em winner from week number 5, and then also an interview, a lengthy interview with one of my great friends in the coaching profession, Longview head coach and AD, John King, on many things more than just Lobo football, but a lot of it, of course, with the Lobos coming off the win against Lancaster. Thank you again to Randy Peters Chevrolet, for their sponsorship of our weekly podcast that we started a couple of years ago. I've known Randy for a long, long time. Great friend. I did commercials for him, endorsements for Peters Chevrolet back in the day, and he has always been just so loyal and a great supporter of the product that we produce here on the Texas High School Football Podcast and also on my website, Smoaky.com. So here are some of the better wins from last week. We kind of touch on a couple of them. There's no graphic for this. Dallas Parish Episcopal and China Springs schedule, obviously really good. Remember, they had Melissa, 2-time defending champions. They're going to be fine, but they play San Antonio Cornerstone down on the road in San Antonio this week. They were beating Parish Episcopal with a nice win against China Springs, 38-23. I thought Brownwood 31 and Conley out of Waco 28 was a good one. Garrett, in fact, did that broadcast. Brownwood is better this year, and they win 31-28. Conley, very explosive. They just got to work out the defense right now. Also, double overtime, Panhandle, Wellington. Knew this would be good, it was, and a nice double overtime win for Panhandle, 38-32. Westlake has really dominated Lake Travis in recent years, and they continue to do that. 26-20, Westlake has beaten Lake Travis down in Austin. The Longview, 52, Lancaster 35. We knew this would be an exciting game. A lot of players, a lot of guys who can make things happen, a lot of big plays. Longview's defense came up with just enough. Taylor Tatum had 250 yards, scored 4 touchdowns. We will discuss him with John King, the head coach, a little bit later in the show. And finally, in a game that's a district game that has Franklin, Lorena, and Yo, and Academy, really good district. Lorena beats Yo 43-41. And 2 other games that were not a part of our pick'em. The Colony beat Denton Ryan 27-20, and Rosebud Lott, a stunning score when I saw this, 28-27 over perennial power Crawford. The Pirates and Greg Jacobs went for 2 to win it and didn't make it. And a huge win for Brandon Hicks and also Rosebud Lott. Here are some players of the week from my website, Smoaky.com, that we highlight on. We have 4 different selections. Overall, combination of everything. And this week in East Texas, it could have been a couple of different guys. But overall, offense, defense, and special teams. Jacoby Williams of Beckville, he did everything. You ask him to do everything every week, he could be this overall winner. He is the overall winner with just massive numbers for Jacoby Williams. Then Winky Williams, no relation, but a great win for DeKalb in a blowout of Tenaha 64-28, 290 yards on the ground, scored a bunch of touchdowns for Winky Williams on offense. Then there's Cody Atkinson. And I got to tell you, there are some schools that turn in the players of the week. And when I see anything over 20 tackles, I kind of go, wait a minute. And there are some schools that seem like they might have 3 or 4 guys. And I just think that's impossible. And when Cody Atkinson's numbers were sent to me, I called or text Ricky Joe Meeks, the head coach at center, Dickie's son, one of my great friends in Dickie Meeks, the late Dickie Meeks. I said, 36 tackles? And look at all the solo tackles. And I mean, he said, you want me to send you the tape? You don't need to do that. What a game. Unbelievable for Cody Atkinson at center. And then Blake Harmon could have been overall or special teams, had a field goal. He blocked a punt. He did other things as well. Huge day for Grace Community and also Blake Harmon. On the Central Texas side of things, Overall, DeMontrell Medlock, 7 combined touchdowns, including 4 tackles and a tackle behind the line of scrimmage and a shutout of Meridian. Ty Brown, the quarterback at Midway, over 400 yards of total offense, scored two touchdowns in a 45-42 win against Hutto. Midway needed a win desperately, and they came back from 27-10 down right before the half. Ty Brown, not just the stats, but what he did in critical moments, picked up a first down on 4th and 3 late in the game to seal it, had a 61-yard run after a fumble recovery by Krausen of Midway to make it happen. A huge run that just completely okay, nice turnover, but yeah, then bam, 61 yards. What a huge game for him and a big win for Midway. And then Cornelius Gillespie at Mart, with what he did, 13 tackles in a big-time game for him. And then you have the young man on the punt returns, 3 of them, 42-yard average from Fairfield, including 2 punt return touchdowns. As you know, I say this every week, I love special teams. So those are the best wins, in my opinion. The players of the week, East and Central Texas. When we come back, my conversation with longtime head football coach at Longview and John King on many things, Lobos and more, and family, with his son and daughter being collegiate athletes and trying to follow them around the country. And then the best games of the week as far as coming up and our Pick'em winner, all of that and more. This is Smoaky.com's Texas High School Football Podcast.
Peters Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat in Longview has the largest new Jeep selection in East Texas, like the Jeep Wrangler 4xe with fuel economy of 49 miles per gallon and 375 horsepower. And the Jeep Gladiator Sport is 6.9% for 72 months or 10% below MSRP. And shop new Wrangler, Gladiator, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee during the Jeep Adventure Days event. And check out the only exclusive Jeep showroom in East Texas at Peters Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. Online at peterschryslerjeep.net.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, specializing in diagnosing and treatment of any and all sport-related injuries. Celebrating over 2 decades of service to Central Texas, they tackle all surgical and non-surgical problems that arise from an active lifestyle. Trust the doctors that Baylor trusts. And when injuries sideline you, don't wait for Monday. Join us at 8:30 on Saturday morning for a post-game injury evaluation clinic. Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We get you back in the game.
This is 365 Sports.
The Smoaky.com podcast is presented by Peters Chevrolet in Longview, Texas. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. TFNB, your bank for life. Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine. And Bubba's 33.
He's one of my favorite of all time. Head football coach John King at Longview High School joins me on the statewide high school football podcast, winning against Lancaster after an opening week loss. Last week when I said, hey, could you come on this week or next? And then I realized you had a game and one that could be salty, and it was with what Lancaster brings to the table. It's an off week for you this week, but how much of a relief was getting that win against Lancaster in the district opener?
That was a huge win. Well, that was our second district game. Lufkin was our district opener, but Lancaster's the best 1-4 team in football. I can tell you, they are a very good football team, and they've had to go through some struggles with injuries and had some issues that they're working through, and they were right there with us in the first half, and we blew it open in the second half. And of course, against McKinney North, opened the game. The district play, they fell down 21-0, tied the game up late, and had a chance to win it. So they've been right there. They played a tough schedule, but we knew that would be a difficult game for us on the road at their place, a game that they've had circled since last time we played, because we've had some MO daddies, as I say. There's been some head makers.
Well, your record speaks for itself, and I was there when you and so many others joined with Pat Collins to take over the program, and the consistency has been remarkable. And yet I know that there's a beast of what you feed that fan base. And as Pat told you, when you won the state championship to break the drought, okay, now it gets more difficult. Has it been?
Yeah, the hunger to win another one as a coach, as a program, as players, and as a community. We want to win another one. And it hasn't gotten any easier. I mean, the expectations around here are always going to be high, always going to be winning at a high level. And that's how I want it. That's why I wanted this job. That's why I want to stay here and coach. One of the best places there is to coach in America, just based off the talent pool you have to draw from, the toughness you have with the kids, and this community support. So this is what high school football is about.
How would you describe what would be the MO of a Longview Lobo football player?
The MO, toughness, togetherness, playing for one thing, and that's that rock and nail. Our motto this year is defend it till the end. These kids grow up wanting to be a Lobo. They didn't move in here to be a Lobo. They grew up wanting to be one. It's in their blood. It's in their brain. It's entrenched in them from a young age. And, toughness, physicality. I mean, that's what we survive on. I don't think it's any secret. And that's not bragging. That's not, challenging anybody, but that's how we win games. And it's been successful for us.
I had said this back, when I knew you, when I was in Tyler and covering Longview, did games, of course, covering Legacy, was Lee. I don't know if there's ever a team, and I got here when Midway was in a really good run, and of course you had the classic games with them in the postseason, but I don't know of anybody that plays more energetic, passionate, week in and week out than Longview. And so that describes what you described. The fan base is great. We know that. But I don't know. How do you get them to do that? You don't have many you don't lay an egg very often.
Well, I think it comes back to how you approach things from off season to summer workouts to how you practice, how you prepare for an opponent. Our kids really, they're even kill all week long. We never get too high or too low based on who we're playing. And they prepare day to day. And then on game day, man, when those dogs go to barking in the stands, the Lobo band goes to playing, juices start flowing, and they get excited. They love playing for each other.
Do you hear the barking Do you hear the barking when you're on the sideline with the headsets on?
I can hear it. There's no doubt. I can hear it pregame. I can hear it during the game. That barking gets started. They love those Lobos. That's calling the pack. You call one wolf, you call the pack, and that's kind of what that signifies.
I don't know. I asked you to describe a Longview football player. I don't know of many scenes, views, atmospheres in high school football in America that matches when the lights are on in Longview at Lobo Stadium with the beautiful scenery, the landscaping, all of that, than what you have there.
Well, it's a beautiful place. Lobo Stadium's historic. It's been a showpiece in East Texas for many, many years. It was built in 1976. It's been well kept, but it has a beautiful setting. And, of course, just the pageantry of Friday nights at Lobo Stadium, from the band, the Vuettes, cheerleaders, ROTC, presentation, and, of course, Lobo Nation. And we don't put a bad product on the field either.
All right, so Taylor Tatum had a big game, 250 yards, and scored, I guess three or four touchdowns in the win against Lancaster. He's committed to Oklahoma. How has he handled the notoriety, the spotlight, the recruitment, and now his senior year?
Taylor's been very mature about this, and we've had a couple of conversations, not many. I mean, his recruitment has gone through his mother and his father, and it's the way it should be. No outside influences. they've made their decisions as a family, and I think they've made some educated decisions and did it the right way. But, I've told Taylor for a couple of years now, you're a marked man. There's people that know about you. There's people that want to make a name based off you. They want to see, what they can do against you to gain notoriety for themselves. But so be ready. You're going to get heckled. You're going to get challenged. You're going to have a little extra pushing after the play. Everybody's going to be trying to go out and stop you. And I think he's really handled it well. Taylor's a very intelligent kid, a great teammate. And you talk about an unselfish kid. Now, he gets a lot of praise, and he should, because he's a hell of a player. But he loves his teammates, and he respects what they do, and they love him. And, I don't think you get that when you're selfish and it's about you. But Taylor, he has a unique skill set, Smokey. We've had some great running backs. Mm-hmm. Never had one that had as many skills as him in terms of his physicality and blocking, catching the ball out of the backfield, running the ball, his home run speed, returning kicks. He can play quarterback. He can do just about everything you want him to do. I know he's a 5'2" guy in baseball, but he is an every tool guy in football. He's an every down player. Hell, he can go over and play linebacker if I want him to. He's just that kind of a player.
We have discussed the expectations over the years, in fact, when you've been on with me before, but when do you know as a staff that your team might be at that standard that Longview Lobos expect?
You have a feeling going into the season, but you don't know until you play somebody else. You play somebody else that's really good, and you play multiple teams that are really good. It may be your night one time. You beat a really good team. You turn around, and you play somebody else, and you don't answer the bell. And for us last year, it took about week 4 or 5 before I realized that we were pretty dang good. And then in 2018 we won it all. It took a win at Rockwall. We beat them in a 1-score game for me to realize we had a chance to be really, really good. And, regardless of how good you are and having a chance to win it, you're going to have to overcome some adversity in the playoffs. It's going to have to win a tight game make plays. It's a key time to win it because there's so many good football teams in Texas, and particularly in the playoffs in a lot of rounds.
How much, and you have had such great 22 consecutive winning seasons is the run that Longview is on, and you've been around for most of those. I think the most ever is 23 consecutive winning seasons up until like 94 that started back in the 70s. How much do you even discuss how last year ended in that tough loss to Aledo?
We hadn't discussed it. I mean, in the off season, the comment was made, if we're going to plan on beating the people we need to beat, we'll have to get better as a team. And that's just not Aledo. I mean, we've got to probably going to see Frisco Lone Star again, probably going to see Port Arthur Memorial again, probably going to see Mansfield Timberview again, if we're lucky enough to play that long, because they're really good. They have everybody back. And then, of course, Aledo. But we got to get better as a team. Our focus is on us. We don't have that revenge factor we talk about. I mean, that only lasts so long. You've got to put in the work. You got to put in the grind. I mean, hard work is going to bring profit. Talking about it's going to bring poverty. We need to put in the work. You
have more than football. You have a daughter that's an elite gymnast. You have Haynes now, who's played well at Georgia Tech. But what is it like around your household when you don't win a game on the weekend?
Nobody gets around me, really. It's not I've gotten better at it, Smokey. I mean, the sun comes up, the bird's going to sing the next day. As a young coach, when I was really trying to prove myself as a young head coach and felt like we had to win every game to do that and couldn't make a mistake. I mean, it was misery and probably unfair to my family, the way I acted. And I'm not saying I've gotten used to losing, because I have. I hate losing more than I love winning. I can tell you that. I hate to lose in anything. And but I've learned how to handle it better. I mean, I've gotten better with the officials, believe that or not. I mean, I had to get every call, and I was going to argue, and I was going to make sure I proved my point. And, I guess that's maturity in me, but I'm not complacent. I'm not happy if we don't play well. But, the big thing is you just got to push on and move on to the next one.
John, you have had a lot more wins than losses. Your record is crazy good. And then you finally did get that state championship and won it all in 2018. You knocked on the door against 2 great Lake Travis teams with Garrett Gilbert. And then I mentioned Aledo. Is there one game that bothers you the most that you did not win to this day?
I can tell you about 20 of them that are season-ending losses that bother me, but probably there's 2 of them that stand out. Well, 3. 2005, I had the best football team talent-wise I've ever had. We lost to South Carolina in the first round, 14-13. Didn't play well, and that one proved and it taught me a lesson as a head coach. And I have moved on from that every year, try not to repeat that. And it's about how we practiced, how we prepared, had a sense of feeling that we were not motivated to play. We were 10-0, just beat John Tyler. We didn't practice well, we didn't play well, and we didn't find a way to win. And we went home with some guys that I'm talking about: Trenton Williams, Andre McGee, Chris Ivory's of the world, and a very good football team. And then 2010, we get a punt blocked. 25 seconds to go against Denton Geyer to go to the state championship. Really played well all night long till the end of the game. 2017, missed field goal against Midway with my son as a sophomore quarterback, chance to go to the state championship.
Yep. That
one stuck with me. And, of course, his last football game we lost against Dallas Jesuit. That one cut me to the core. And I wasn't sure he or I, either one of us, going to get out of that locker room that night because he didn't want to get out of his uniform, and I wasn't ready to see him leave. So we had to put our big boy pants on and get out of there and go hug grandma's necks and wives' necks and everything else.
Yeah, that Jesuit was Emmett Smith's son, right? That had a big game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's 27-25, and another one of those deals just didn't play well, couldn't make plays. Weird night, but it happens.
Yeah, and then I was there, and I saw you in the press box afterwards. It was emotional for me because when I moved to Waco in 2010, Midway in playoff games has played against Lee, John Tyler, and then that was the one with you, which was a classic, but not because and I know it was heartbreaking. And I got a chance to see you. You went up to the press box and did the post-game radio interview with the station you've been with forever. And I was happy because we do Midway. At the same time, that was surreal for me. I mean, because we have so many memories as guys that have known each other for as long as we have. That was a miserable night weather-wise, and you had a couple of chances. Yeah, I remember that.
We had chances, and they were a really good football team. And the thing, at the end of the game, I'm hugging all those kids' necks. They were brokenhearted, and I'm fixing to leave, go up to the press box, do my radio show, and I hear, Dad. Hell, I forgot to hug my son's neck. He's over there in tears. And you talk about that was one of those moments where, you know what, regardless of the outcome, you're going to stop. You're going to hug your son's neck. You're going to hug your daughter's neck before you go anywhere. And I didn't miss an opportunity after that.
Well, you mentioned them. Let's start with Steely because she's been incredibly decorated as a gymnast at Texas Women's University. Your thoughts about where she is? And by the way, did you ever think about majoring in biology? I think I saw that under her bio when I looked her up online earlier.
No, I didn't. But I'm going to tell you, I'm so proud of her. She made the right decision for her based on her dreams and her aspirations. She's a college gymnast, Division II at Texas Women's University, but she's been an All-American several times. She was a national champion in 2021, and has just had great success as a gymnast, but also academically. I mean, she is doing so well academically, and their team is always one of the top GPAs in the country. She's in biology, as you mentioned, with dreams of becoming an orthodontist. So she's making the most of the opportunity, and really was the best decision she's made was going to TW. Great program.
You told me that the year that Haynes was starting and it didn't go well at A&M, that might have been one of the more difficult times for you because that's blood. That's your son. He's now at Georgia Tech. They're 2-2. They just beat Wake Forest. You mentioned you had been on that trip, which has to be great. How he's bounced back and what he's doing and how much is it just kind of almost like he's enjoying football again?
He is enjoying football again, and sometimes you need to change the scenery. And by no means am I saying anything about A&M. He graduated from A&M. He's an Aggie for life. They got a great program. Jimbo Fisher was great to my son, coached him hard and taught him a lot of football and got a lot of respect for A&M, their staff, and their program. But he needed to change the scenery. And he did. He graduated, moved on to Georgia Tech, and really is enjoying life again and football and all the things that come with it. And couldn't be happier for him. And it's not about wins and losses and stats, Smoky. I mean, there were times that, you worried about him in A&M because he hit rock bottom. I mean, I don't know how much lower it can get, but for a quarterback in college football and don't go well, it gets low, low, low. And I'm just glad he's happy again and enjoying football. He's got this year and 2 more to play, and I'm going to try to make every game because he's not going to play forever. And there's nothing more that I enjoy than watching my children compete. And the time frame of that's getting shorter and shorter. And I missed one game this year of his. They opened up against Louisville and we were playing Marshall that night. And I couldn't go. But I'm not going to miss many more. It'd have to be a unique situation for me to not make it.
Airline tickets, long drives in the car, kind of a combination of both? Because you're on the East Coast right now with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. It was a 3-hour drive to A&M, and the shortest drive we've had this year is 6 hours to Ole Miss, and everything else is 9. So I need to start a GoFundMe for Coach King airfare. But, it's been both car and flights. But from here on out, it'll probably be mostly flights. My wife and I, she sucked it up and joined me. This will be this coming week will be the second time we'll do an over and back trip same day. Leave about 5 in the morning on a flight and fly back in around midnight. But that way I can get to work on Sunday. It's tough on us, but like I said, it's not going to last forever. So I better suck it up.
No, absolutely. You have to have a great staff, and you've had a lot of continuity on your staff. And I know Oscar Wilson and Valerie and a lot of John Barry's back with you. And you have to have a great staff. You're going to do that no matter what. Go see your kids, see your children compete. But you have to have a great staff that supports that and also does what needs to be done while you're gone, right?
There's no doubt. I couldn't do it without a great staff. And as you mentioned, those 3 guys, those are the 3 that I rely on. Barry runs the defense. Coach Wilson's assistant head coach. He makes sure everything's taken care of, and Val is the offensive coordinator. So, but all the other assistants, I wouldn't have to tell them what to do. They're going to do it. We've been together so long. And I think that's what's great about this football program is the continuity we've had throughout the years. I mean, Oscar Wilson's been here since I got here. Chris Valerie's been here 13 years. John Barry and I came here together.
Yep.
David Ashley, he's been here since 2006. And heck, half of these coaches on the staff, I coached them. So they know the expectation. They know what's expected, and when they go do it, and it enables me to do those kind of things. But I spend some late nights during the week trying to plan ahead for the upcoming week. Either with a weekly plan or watching video on an opponent or things like that. And of course, technology, being able to carry an iPad on the plane and watch that, and it really helps as well. So just find a way to do it, and it's kind of crazy. I think, COVID probably taught everybody a little bit. You don't have to do everything from the office. So there's a lot of stuff we do out of the office and we can do on our own. And that's kind of the case that we use there, getting our stuff done. But you hit the nail on the head, Smoky. Great staff is why I'm able to do the things I'm able to do.
Well, I have one more question to follow up. You could have a great staff and great athletes and all this pipeline that you have at Longview, but you mentioned your wife and what a coach's wife means to the coach.
She's a rock, and I don't always tell her that because I'm going to tell you it's some tough times because it's the great thing about my wife, Jody, is she knows the hours I have to put in and the hours that it requires for me to do my job the way I want to do it. Because I don't want anything halfway done. I want it done the right way. And if it means staying here to 10, 11 o'clock at night and getting up at 5 in the morning, I'm going to do it. But she's never came to the field house and dropped the kids off and said, you need to come home. No, when the kids were younger, she raised them while I was working, and she had them in every game, every contest, and I'm really lucky in that aspect. She's a former coach herself,
yep.
Great athlete. She's probably where the kids got their athleticism from. We argue about that, but she gets it, coach's wife, and she's not going to miss those kids either. Now, I'm talking about you. She's going. I don't care what you've got going on. She's going to watch those kids perform, but it's been great. Yeah, I don't know how we'd have done without her.
John, thank you, man. Great story as always. Always great to see you. Always great to hear from you. The off week and then unbeaten 40 around the corner. And we appreciate your time. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Thank you, Smoky.
John King, head football coach, AD football coach at Longview, with us on the statewide high school football podcast.
Peters Ram in Longview is the #1 Ram truck dealer in East Texas. Don't miss the biggest deal in Texas. The Ram Half-Ton Lone Star, 2.9% for 72 months, or get a $9,000 discount. Ram heavy-duty trucks, the largest selection this year, and Ram commercial and fleet units are in stock and ready to go to work. The largest selection of new Ram vehicles at Peters Ram during the Ram Power Days. Online at peterschryslerjeep.net.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, specializing in diagnosing and treatment of any and all sport-related injuries. Celebrating over 2 decades of service to Central Texas, they tackle all surgical and non-surgical problems that arise from an active lifestyle. Trust the doctors that Baylor trusts. And when injuries sideline you, don't wait for Monday. Join us at 8:30 on Saturday morning for a post-game injury evaluation clinic. Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We get you back in the game.
This is 365 Sports.
The Smoaky.com podcast is presented by Peters Chevrolet in Longview, Texas. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. TFNB, your bank for life. Baylor Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine. And Bubba's 33.
To close out week number 6 in our show, thanks again to Garrett Ross, Jack McKenzie for what they do behind the scenes, but it's all as one here at 365 Sports. The winner of week 5, John Pescia out of West. He was 26-4. He wins a $25 gift certificate from Bubba's 33 in Waco. There are the 5 winners so far: Randy Polk, Nicholas Hansen, Greg Ogletree, Sandy Van Horn, and last week, Don Pescia. He's a big UT fan, so we had a good weekend. 26-4 on the week. Now, here are the games, and there are a lot. You go to my website, Smoaky.com. Go to the top, and you can see where it says high school sports. There's a pick'em link. There are 30 games this week, sometimes 29 to 32, 30 games this week, and you can get in there anytime up until 5 on Thursday. Pick your team, same link every single week, and the winner gets the $25 gift certificate from Bubba's 33 in Waco. But here are the games that we kind of picked out individually. The number on the right, as we have said many times before, the lower the number, the higher or the better ranked game it is, based on our good friend Jerry Forrest and pigskinprep.com. Wall is a 11-point pick to beat Mason. The Punchers, Wall 3-1, the Punchers are 5-0, and that's a non-district game. Columbus and Madisonville. We just mentioned Madisonville with their quarterback, and then also they're always good on special teams. That's a battle of 2 5-0s. Columbus is really good. Madisonville better. They've done a great job there. 2 teams that are 5-0. Hampshire, Fannett, and Jasper. Hampshire Finette, 11-point pick. Jasper is 3-2. Bremond with a couple of losses against Windthorst. Bremond, though, a slight favorite in that game. Again, there are still some districts that are not in district play because you have some of these 5-team districts, and so they're just not in play yet. Brownwood, who just beat Connolly in their game with Stephenville, and again, a non-district game, but these teams play quite a bit. Brownwood off to a nice start. Stephenville 3-2. Port Neches, Groves, and Texas City. Port Neches is a slight favorite. 8-point favorite in that game, in a rivalry, of course, that they play so many times. Yoakum and La Vega, that game is in Waco. Don Hyde and the Pirates are 3-2 against Yoakum in a game where La Vega is a 5-point pick. Lorena and Academy, this is part of that district that started last week. It is loaded. Academy's 5-0. Lorena 3-2 in a non-district in a district game, 11-3A. Somerset and Antonian. Somerset a slight favorite in that game. Sydney and Strawn, a 1-point pick in that game. And again, a non-district game in 6-man. Coolidge and Blum, another 6-man game. Coolidge 3-2. Blum is 3-2. Coolidge a slight touchdown favorite there. And Heritage and Grapevine. Grapevine's 1-2. Heritage 3-1. That's a district game in Class 5A. Want to thank our sponsors, as always, Peter Chevrolet in Longview, and thanks to Randy Peters, TFNB Bank, your bank for life, and Jason Lavender, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, Carl Ellis and Mike Garrick, and Bubba's 33, Nathan Watkins. We appreciate him, as he is the one that helps us with the gift card for the Pick'em contest. Thanks to Garrett Rossigan and Jack McKenzie. Thank you for watching. Click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell somebody about it. Every Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, this show is live on the YouTube channel inside the umbrella of 365 Sports. I'm David Smoke. Have a great week number 6, and we'll talk to you again next week.
This is 365 Sports.
The Smoaky.com podcast is presented by Peter Chevrolet in Longview, Texas. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. TFNB, your bank for life. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine. And Bubba's 33.